On the Newshour debate tonight, I have Dr. K Gupta, former Delhi Police Commissioner, Ashok, Karnik, former Deputy Director IB, they'll be joining us. Meenakshi Lekhi of the BJP, Sudha Ramalingam of the PUCL, human rights activist from Chennai. Mehmood Pracha is advocate in this case. And Abid Rasool Khan will be joining us in some time as well. Mr. Mehmood Pracha repeatedly, on multiple occasions, in multiple ways, with colossal evidence. Everyone, from this court today to the Supreme Court of India, to the High Court, to the NHRC, they have all said one thing, that this man, Mohan Chand Sharma, was martyred by a terrorist. At one point, even you will have to accept the reality, and if you have any faith in the courts and the legal processes and the institutions like the NHRC, then you must admit that you got it all wrong. And that this defense of a terrorist has been going on for far too long now, backed by a group of people. What do you think, Mr. Pracha?
First of all, Arnab, I am not the lawyer in this case, but I am handling almost all the cases against Indian Mujahideen, the so-called Indian Mujahideen. Well, the first thing I would like to tell you is that this judgment does not say a word about Shehzad or anyone else being a terrorist. Secondly, it does not say a word about whether these were members, no finding has been given, whether they were members of Indian Mujahideen or not. So, please do not scandalize this issue. This is a first judgment, this is not the final judgment. Please understand that there are various procedures which are left even now. Please understand that there is a High Court. Please understand that appeal against this order is available to the accused as a matter of right. What I will tell you now is, please understand this, that the biggest thing in these cases is not to scandalize these cases, not to and the biggest culprit according to me, Mr. Arnab, is the media. Because what you are saying even today, that these are terrorists, this is not the finding of this judgment. That these are Indian Mujahideen members, this is not finding of this judgment.
Mr. Pracha?
The only finding there is...
Mr.
Yes.
Pracha, I just want to tell you one thing.
Mr. Arnab.
I want to tell you one thing. I can counter you fact by fact and point by point. But if I present the facts to you tonight, I request you to throw away all that rhetoric and to be real. Because your arguments have been torn on multiple occasions. One, you say encounter was not genuine. That's been proven wrong. Secondly, NHRC did not investigate properly and relied on official documents. That's been rejected by the High Court of India. Thirdly, we want a judicial inquiry. That's what you said. The Supreme Court upheld the Delhi High Court's decision. I don't know which law of the land you're talking about. You quote the NHRC when you talk about Manipur. I want you to accept the NHRC when it comes to Batla House. This whole argument that there were no eyewitnesses to the scene, I can go point by point on that, Mr. Pracha, but throw away that rhetoric for once tonight. Because then you'll have to explain who Shehzad was and what he was doing. And let's not get into those details. Meenakshi Lekhi's first response. Meenakshi Lekhi's first response.
Judgment to you.
Meenakshi Lekhi's first response on Mr. Pracha's interpretation of the judgment.
Lawyer. You see, Mr. Pracha is representing a certain group of people, so you really can't expect him to divulge the truth, because he has to maintain certain stances of his clients. And as the law stands, today the client stands convicted in one matter. Now, whether it was within the purview of this court to take a call or make a judgment about this gentleman Shehzad being a part of Indian Mujahideen is part of the other charge sheet. Today, the matter was before the court whether the encounter was genuine or not. That means there is a presumption of law. One, that the police went to arrest certain people belonging to some terrorist module, and when they went to arrest these people, they were attacked. And because they were attacked, and as a lawyer, Mr. Pracha would agree with me, that even a common citizen, a private person, has a right to self-defense. Now these are police people, so police soldiers, paramilitary forces, they all not only have a right to self-defense, but they also have a duty to protect all of us, and they are given licensed weapons to use when they are being attacked in such cases, or use them when a common man is being attacked by such terrorist groups. And this is precisely what the encounter is all about.
No, point simply is this. You see, what interestingly Mr. Pracha is trying to do, because I think, Mr. Pracha, you are worried about the impact of what has been said today on other cases. Now, let me tell you one thing, Mr. Pracha. Let me tell you one thing, Mr. Pracha. Just allow me 1 minute, please. You must understand what was the prosecution's case which has been upheld here. The prosecution's case was about Shehzad being a member of the Indian Mujahideen who had fled the spot during the encounter, right? And the prosecution told the court they had sufficient circumstantial evidence and phone records to prove that Shehzad was present in Batla House and that he'd fired on the police team. And it was on Shehzad's shots that Mohan Chand Sharma died. Now, all that's been proven. So what has been proven is that a terrorist shot at a police officer and killed the police officer, the same police officer who you have been insulting the memory and martyrdom of, Mr. Pracha. Why don't you understand today that game is up? That line of argument will not hold.
Arnab, first of all, it has not been held by this judgment that Shehzad shot Mr. Mohan Chand Sharma. You are misquoting the judgment again. Secondly, you said it is the case, the prosecution case, that there was an Indian Mujahideen, terrorist of Indian Mujahideen. Let me read out the judgment to you. It is pointed out by Shri Satish Tamta, advocate, as per the case of prosecution, the occupants of flat number 108, including accused Shehzad, were active members of Indian Mujahideen, but this fact has not been proved on file. True, this is what the judge is saying. There is no evidence on record to establish that fact. At that time, this court cannot be expected to endeavor in giving findings about the fact for the purpose of decision in this case. So, please do not say that the prosecution's case has been upheld, that these were terrorists. Please do not say that this judgment upholds the fact that they were members of Indian Mujahideen.
You forget your own case.
Do not say that.
You forget your own case. Meenakshi Lekhi wants to counter you. This is a case of a suspected. This is a case. I don't know why you hold up a case for Indian Mujahideen tonight. But this is a case of a suspected Indian Mujahideen operative called Shehzad Ahmed, standing trial, charged with the murder. Charged with the murder of Inspector Mohan Chand Sharma, charged with criminal conspiracy, charged with firing on a police team. He is said to be one of the occupants of the flat in Jamia Nagar where the encounter took place on September 19, 2008 between the officers of the special cell and suspected Indian Mujahideen terrorists. That's what the whole case has been about. This case has been about an encounter between IM terrorists and the Delhi police.
You can say anything you like, Arnab, but these are not the facts as stated by the judgment.
Well, I don't know who you want to trust now anymore, Mr.
Pracha, can I intervene?
Yeah.
Mr. Pracha,
yes, sure.
Unfortunately, we do not have the benefit of being lawyers in this matter and getting the copy of the judgment. So whatever is the preceding paragraph or the following paragraph, I cannot. I would prefer to get a copy, and I may take it from you tomorrow in the court. But my point is very simple.
No, it is on the net already.
The entire case was. I tried to search it. I didn't get it.
I'll tell him. I'll tell you, Meenakshi. Meenakshi. I have the judgment, and I don't think. Yeah. I don't think at this point of time. Yeah, I'll tell you. I'll read out a part. I'll read out a part. I'll read out a part because I think Mr. Pracha is being very selective. Now, Mr. Pracha may have his own reasons in being selective.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly my point.
Mr. Pracha may have his own reasons, compelling reasons to be selective. But Mr. Pracha, this is the Newshour.
Something which is not true.
No, this is the Newshour. This is the Newshour, and on the Newshour, I have the facts. Always on the Newshour, I have the facts.
But
so I must counter you with the facts, and this is in the court of senior Rajendra.
I would want the following and the preceding paragraph. I'm sure this is part of the judgment.
No. 1 sec. I'll read it out to you. Please see the judgment of which you have a copy.
Please read it out, and I will read out the judgment also.
Read it out. Have patience, Mr. Pracha.
But talk on judgment.
Yes, Mr. Pracha, I will talk to you whether you want on judgment, on case history, on facts, of police, of NHRC, of Delhi High Court, or Supreme Court.
That's all I'm saying.
That's all. So the judgment says, it is well proved that in spite of assisting the police in apprehending suspects of crime, the occupants of that flat, including Shehzad Ahmed, fired at the police party. Have you got the sentence? If you got the judgment, you read the sentence. And now let me tell you, because Meenakshi wants the whole sentence, I'll tell you what the whole sentence says. 1 minute. It is also well established on record that Inspector MC Sharma and HC Balwant, members of the raiding party, suffered bullet injury on being fired by the occupants of that flat, including accused Shehzad Ahmed. From the deposition of Dr. Sanjeev Lalwani and the post-mortem report, it is clear that Inspector Mohanchand Sharma died due to bullet injuries suffered in that incident. What more do you want? In this way, and that paragraph goes on to say, in this way, the assailants, including Shehzad Ahmed, tried to kill the said H.C. Rajbir. Right? Got it?
Arnab, now
got it?
Meenakshi will understand this, Arnab, more.
No.
Can I say something? Meenakshi will understand this more, Arnab. It is just an appreciation of evidence by one court, which is a trial court. There is a higher forum, which is called High Court. High Court is also going to appreciate
first I want you to say. First I want you. No. 1 second.
No,
if you are wrong, you must admit it.
Very important.
No, Mr. Pracha, if you are wrong, you must admit it.
No.
Because I have read from the judgment. You kept saying till now, where's the judgment? This is the judgment. I show you the judgment.
I am reading from the judgment also.
Is this in the judgment?
There is no word.
Is it said the bullet injuries, fired by Shehzad Ahmed killed Mohanchand Sharma? You told us, a lot of people and activists told us police officers were fighting among themselves.
It is
you
not in the
spread the
judgment.
theory that police officers were fighting among themselves.
Let me put it differently.
Meenakshi.
Let me put it differently.
I am saying it
Mr. Pracha's consumption.
Simply that it is not in the judgment that Shehzad's bullet.
Mr. Pracha, I have a different take on this. My take is now political. Apart from the legal process, we all know will go on. That's a separate story. And as a matter of right in this country, those rights are governed and those rights will be given. But let's come back to the political part of this. And let's come back to the part that there were 5 bomb blasts in this city. And in those 5 bomb blasts, just a week ago, that is on 13th of September, 30 people died and quite a number of people got injured. Did it happen or not? And do you want to say that police does not do its work and the city is unsafe due to Indian Mujahideen activities and police is wrong in apprehending those people or going after those people, and they did not track the police did not track the call detail? Is that the point you're trying to make? And let me tell you, in all these cases, sometimes the activists come up that IB reports are false. Sometimes they say David Headley was wrong.
Absolutely.
Sometimes they say FBI inputs are wrong. Delhi police is wrong. Now, everybody is wrong except the terrorists.
Except the activists also. Except the activists. Except some activists, everybody else is wrong.
Activists' bread and butter comes from this.
Well, I mean, I guess national interest. I think national interest is sometimes more important than bread and butter. And let me tell you, in any case.
Let me respond to that.
No, I'm going to come back to you. Sudha Ramalingam, do you think the activist group also need to apologize to the entire country for having desecrated a martyr's memory all this while?
I'm sorry, Arnab. We do apologize. We do feel bad for every life lost. We do feel bad for every life lost. And the state has no business to kill people. The state's role is I mean, it has got to ensure that every life is saved. The fundamental right to live in this country has to be
Miss Ramalingam, what are you talking about? Today it has been proven. Today it has been proven. Are you on the side of the Indian Mujahideen in this? Are you on the side of the Indian Mujahideen in this?
I'm not on the
Are you on the side of the Indian Mujahideen in this? The Indian Mujahideen which bleeds our country, which has been propped up by Pakistan, backed by the Lashkar-e-Toiba. You're backing the Indian Mujahideen against your own patriot?
I'm not on the side of anyone. Don't put words into my mouth.
Well, whose side are you on? You're not even on the side of the truth or the High Court judgment or the Supreme Court judgment. You're not even on the side of the NHRC. Do you believe the NHRC? Do you believe the NHRC? Do you believe the NHRC?
You did not. There are so many grey shades between white and black. Don't ask me to only say whether there is white or black. Come on, give me the opportunity to talk. Do not stifle activists. Activists are not with some other agenda in us. We do not have any selective memory or amnesia. We would like to talk the truth. We would like the state to be also take.
Can you say one thing specific in this case?
Responsible to people.
Can you say one specific thing about this case?
Excuse me, Arnab, kindly listen to me. You have been making sweeping statements. I have repeatedly come to this program only because I would like to tell that you are wrong about activists. We are not here to ensure that somebody lives
Some
and somebody
activists.
dies. We want everyone to
Some
live.
activists,
we want
not all.
everyone to live. Almost all of us who are genuine, especially the PUCL and people who belong to such organizations, we want to ensure that there is a rule of law.
No, please, that's a theoretical argument. Come to the facts of the case. Am I to presume, Ms. Ramalingam, you have nothing on the facts of the case?
I do know the facts of the case, but
So,
I do not want to.
No, is it true at that point of time? I won't mention. Certain activists.
What you are doing is sensationalizing.
No, certain activists.
I'm sorry, you're sensationalizing.
No, I'm discussing a judgment. I have every right to discuss a judgment. You cannot call it a sensation.
You have a right.
That's my right as a citizen of India. You can't take away my freedom of expression. Should I assume that human rights activists like you today are against the freedom of expression for independent citizens?
You're taking away the freedom of expression of all the activists in India.
Well, I think we will
to paint us all as extremists. You're not extremists enough. You should understand that we stand for the rule of law.
You have not said one thing specific in this case.
Otherwise.
You have not said one thing specific.
I'm trying to tell you.
I'd like to get Ashok Karnik in.
That should be the...
Ashok Karnik, you've heard the arguments. I don't think there's a question to be asked here. But you've heard two points of view emerge.
No.
What do you make of the response that we've had so far?
No, I'm in fact happy that the martyrdom of Sharma has been really vindicated, and it is proved that he died in an attack by a terrorist, a militant with the Indian Mujahideen or whatever name you call him for. So far the tendency has been that everything that the police says is wrong. They are rogues, they always lie. That is a tendency of most of the people now. This changes the perception, I hope so, in the present context, really speaking, that the Delhi police version has been upheld by the court. It may go on and on for appeals and things like that, and those who are criticizing the police will never give up their stand, as we can see, that they will keep on arguing and splitting hair over what exactly happened, what is the little significance here, that is nuance here and things like that. Well, fact remains that one court, maybe a sessions court, has upheld the police version. I am happy about that, because this changes the trend of thinking amongst the intellectuals in this country.
No, but it doesn't.
The police are always wrong.
It doesn't change actually. What I find quite of great concern is that, Mr. Karnik, I would have expected that maybe Mr. Pracha, for example, or Sudha Ramalingam, for example, would have read the observations of the courts in other courts, would have read what the High Court said in this case, for example, or the NHRC said, or the Supreme Court said.
No, I don't think they will ever change their attitude. No.
Why?
They are predetermined to decide that the police are in the wrong, that the accused are always to be upheld, they have to be protected, and the police have to be proved wrong. That is their basic assumption. That's why they will never listen to anything that is opposed to that point of view.
And they find it inimical. Mr. Pracha, don't mind it. They find it inimical when someone asks them the tough questions. But I'd like to remind you, Mr. Pracha, that nobody less than the Supreme Court of this country, and in fact a bench comprising the present Chief Justice of India, Justice P. Satasivam, who in a bench along with Justice B.S. Chauhan had said and warned against an attempt to draw a minority-majority divide on an issue of terrorism. And the court had said, no, 1 minute, let me complete, please. You know, in the process of desecrating a patriot, you want to divide sections of a community? The Supreme Court of India had said, the Supreme Court of India had said, people of this country need to know.
All I'm saying, Arnab, is,
you are not letting me complete.
Supreme Court. All I'm saying, Arnab, is that wait till the Supreme Court decides in this matter also, and you will see. You will see.
I am telling you.
Wait till the Supreme Court decides in this matter.
I am telling you.
You will see.
I am telling you.
You will see the truth.
I am telling you. You have forgotten.
Allow me to say
You have forgotten that when Prashant Bhushan took this matter on behalf of Anhad, he took this matter to the Supreme Court for a judicial inquiry into the Batla House encounter. The Supreme Court, while dismissing the plea, said the following, and let me complete my words, and please don't interrupt me, Mr. Pracha, because you don't like what I'm saying. This is what the court said.
No, I like very much what you're saying.
No, I don't think you like it, but you must hear it.
Please hear me out.
Yeah, but you must hear me first.
No, I would like it, but hear me out.
Yeah, you hear me out on what the court said. The court said, you need not identify any sections of the society. Criminals are criminals. Why do you identify a community? And you know why the court was forced to say that? Because Prashant Bhushan, appearing for Anhad, submitted that the Batla House encounter has taken the faith and confidence of the large section of a community. The Supreme Court expressed its displeasure over raising the issue of a particular community, saying criminals are criminals, you need not identify sections of a society. What more do you want? You know, why do you do this? When even the Supreme Court has told you.
How is this relevant here?
May I intervene?
Arnab, how is this relevant here? How this is relevant here? Why are you citing this here?
It is relevant, Mr. Pracha.
This is not relevant
Meenakshi Lekhi.
Can I intervene?
Meenakshi Lekhi.
Yes, my point is very simple.
You asked tonight why is it relevant? You asked me why it is relevant. Meenakshi Lekhi.
Mr. Pracha, one is fighting the battle of perceptions. The perception being created by certain section in this country is that only one community is targeted by the police forces. Whereas if you go to the NHRC report, year by year, more Hindus have been killed in false encounters, and including in Northeast, more Christians have been killed.
I am not on Hindus, Muslims, Meenakshi ji, I am not at all on Hindus and Muslims. I am only on citizens. I don't see Hindu Muslims. I see
Mr.
citizens.
Pracha, allow me to complete. Allow me to complete. And when you are talking about citizens, citizens have every right to stay in a country free of fear. And how will they stay in a country free from fear? Because these very elements are trying to breach the security of this country and divide this country. First, divide this country into portions, separate Jammu and Kashmir, separate Northeast, have bomb blasts in Delhi.
Meenakshi ji, let us confine ourselves to this case.
You and people like you and me, I am confining myself. There were 5 bomb blasts in this city.
This case.
Both of us are practicing lawyers.
Yes.
We have gone to court without any security
Catch
check.
the real people if you want to stop these.
The cars cannot enter. Of course you are catching the real people. But real people hide behind and they have over-the-ground supporters. And the overground supporters are as guilty as the guilty people who are planting bombs. And I hold each one of them equally responsible.
No, they are more guilty.
Because you are trying to create an atmosphere of terror.
No, you see these. By the way, Meenakshi Lekhi.
By the way,
Meenakshi Lekhi, let me say one thing. These over-the-ground supporters have gone quiet today.
This is not that.
These over-the-ground supporters have gone quiet today.
Now listen to me.
They have no answer.
Listen to me. Overground people supporting terrorists are worse than the real terrorists. But the overground,
I have one question. I will ask this question. I want to sincerely.
This country is the country of Sufi Islam.
No rhetoric.
I want to sincerely ask the human rights activist as well as the lawyer on the panel.
This is not rhetoric.
I want to ask.
I'm not talking facts. Talk about this case.
I am talking about. You want me to ask?
I am talking about facts.
It has not been decided in this case.
Well,
show me in one place where it has been held by this court. Show me one word about Indian Mujahideen in this judgment.
Don't.
Show me one
word. One second. Mr. Pracha.
What I'm saying is,
Mr. Pracha, I want to tell you one thing. I want to tell you one thing, Mr. Pracha. Don't clutch at straws.
Why don't you allow me to speak for 1 minute?
Why don't you take a question for a second?
Allow me to speak for 1 minute.
Take a question.
I have heard you so much. Give me 1 minute.
You have been speaking. You refuse to take questions. I will throw a question at you. And my simple question to you is this.
Ask questions.
Now, you know when you see that family, those children of Mohan Chand Sharma, the grief on their faces.
Yes.
I want you and Sudha Ramalingam.
Yes, I see them.
And they were shot. 1 minute, please. Let me speak tonight. Let me speak tonight. Their father, their husband was a martyr.
Yes.
He gave up his life fighting for this country against the terrorists. And don't tell me you don't know about the Indian Mujahideen, because Shehzad, 1 minute, please allow me to complete. Shehzad was not a social worker. He was a terrorist. And I want you to tell me today, what would you say to the family of that martyr? whose honor you have desecrated,
I would say,
whose sacrifice you have denigrated,
I would,
whose patriotism you have insulted. I want you and Sudha Ramalingam
Arnab,
to tell me whether you will apologize to them.
All right. Allow me first. I stand by this family and I want to work to find out the real criminals who killed Mohan Chand Sharma. That is what we are going to do. And not some person who's not done it and you have
You don't believe anyone.
him.
You will
Let
never
us now
believe
reach
anyone.
to a final conclusion.
You will never believe anyone.
No,
The
I will
problem
not. I
with
will
you
only
and Sudha
believe
Ramalingam
science.
will never
I
believe
will only
anyone.
believe.
You will never believe anyone.
I will only believe facts.
Believe it.
I will
High
only
Court has
believe
said it
facts
will
and
not
science.
The court has said it, you will not believe it. You will disbelieve everyone because you have a mindset.
I will not believe anything which is not supported by scientific evidence.
Today,
I will not. And this is a judgment which is challengeable by in the High Court.
Okay, you want to talk about scientific evidence?
Understand this.
You want to talk about scientific evidence?
Yes.
You want to talk about
Show me
scientific
one
evidence?
piece of scientific evidence in this entire judgment. Let us talk about science.
Let's talk scientific evidence. Pull out the NHRC report.
Not just police
Pull out the
witnesses.
NHRC report.
Let's
talk scientific evidence.
This is the first
Let's talk about scientific evidence.
Conclusion given by a court. It is to be challenged in the High Court.
Now let
we will talk again when we file this appeal in the High Court.
No.
Wait for the High Court. Wait for the Supreme Court before being judgmental.
You have Sudha Ramalingam. Miss Sudha Ramalingam.
Kindly let me
Miss Sudha Ramalingam.
Let me just tell you.
Let us catch the real terrorists.
Kindly let me tell no.
Such a mindset.
The NHRC also in its guidelines states that if there is going to be any encounter, the persons responsible for such encounters, that is in this case death of Atif Amin and Mohammed Sajid, also will have to be accused of offences under section 302 of the IPC, and they also have to face a trial.
Sudha Ramalingam, what are you talking about? Can I please read out the NHRC report? My God, because on several other TV channels, Miss Ramalingam, Miss Ramalingam, there must be, this is the Newshour.
The guidelines.
This is not one of those TV channels where you can get away by talking what is not factually correct. This is the Newshour. We have our facts right. Which part of the
NHRC guidelines? Please take out the NHRC guidelines on
Miss Ramalingam, don't misquote. Do not misquote.
That whoever is
do not misquote Miss Ramalingam. I have a copy of the NHRC report in this case with me.
For 302.
One second. First of all, Miss Ramalingam, Mr. Karnik wants to come back, but I want to tell you this. I have a copy of the NHRC report. I am challenging you tonight. I am challenging you in the course of this show. I am challenging you and Mr. Pracha.
I am telling you that there is an NHRC guideline. Take out the
why don't you want to talk about the specific report in this case?
Let me ask her one question.
Why don't you want to talk about the specific report in this case? I challenge you and Mr.
One specific question to you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, tell me, Meenakshi.
25 policemen were killed, CRPF Jawans were killed in Jammu and Kashmir last month, and 5 people from police were killed in Chhattisgarh. Have you spoken to the families of these people and represented them in any court?
We will definitely not accept any
and you don't think they would
come on. No, we will not accept.
No, but I want to ask a very simple question. I'm not asking whether you accept or not. I am saying, what have you done for them? The moment a person from either a terrorist or a Naxal gets killed, whereas more people from services have been killed in this country, and nobody talks of their numbers.
We do not want anyone
more
to be
people
killed.
have been thrown out of valley.
You are missing.
No, but what are you doing about people? And these people are protecting a part of India. I'm sorry. Jammu and Kashmir. I am trying to do my bit. I am trying to do my bit, man. My question is to you, because you represent human rights. Do the policemen and common citizen of this country who get bombed have any human right or not?
Let us have a dialogue.
Does a common man in this country have a human right?
Mr. Karnik wants to come in. Mr. Karnik is responding. Meenakshi Lekhi, Mr. Karnik. Mr. Karnik is coming back into the debate. By the way,
talk about marginalization. I will stand with you.
You see, today I think at least one lobby is being silenced. Mr. Karnik is making a point. Mr. Karnik is making a point. Please listen to him.
Yes, Arnab, it is totally futile to expect those who have already made up their minds to change their mind now. Even if the Supreme Court gives a judgment, they will not accept it. Remember Afzal Guru case, even after he was hanged, people kept on saying that he did not get justice. This is the kind of mentality that is being sort of encouraged here, and they will not accept that they were ever wrong. They were wrong, they will always be right, and they will not accept anybody's say so, whether it is Sessions Court, High Court or Supreme Court.
Till recently, former Delhi Police Commissioner K Gupta joining this discussion on the Newshour edition this evening. Mr. Gupta, good evening. This debate has been going on for some time before you joined us. And there is a lawyer, Mehmood Pracha here, and there is a human rights activist, Sudha Ramalingam from Chennai. Despite the facts of today's judgment, they first of all, Mr. Pracha says this judgment does not prove anything about the Indian Mujahideen. This judgment does not prove that Mr. Shehzad was a terrorist of the Indian Mujahideen, and hence
does not say a word. Yes.
Yeah, you want to? Am I misrepresenting you again, Mr. Pracha? Or you want to say it directly to Mr. Gupta? Go ahead.
Yes.
Then he can respond to you.
This judgment gives a finding. This judgment does not give a finding about whether these people were terrorists. This judgment does not give a finding whether they were connected to Indian Mujahideen. So do not say things which are not there in the judgment.
Okay. So you, as far as you're concerned, Mr. Shehzad, who murdered and killed Mohan Chand Sharma, was a social worker, right?
This is only because of Section 34.
What was? He was a social worker.
You have to understand a bit of law also.
Mr. Pracha, I understand more than my bit of law, which is why I've got the judgment and the NHRC report with me, and you don't have it.
Yeah, I know.
Yes.
I know. We'll have to ask Meenakshi on that. It is only because of Section 34. Ask Meenakshi about that.
You know something, Mr.
It is only because of Section 34. It is not that Pracha. It is said that Mr. Shehzad shot Mr. Ask Meenakshi about that. She will tell you.
Mr. Pracha, you tonight are unfortunately indulging in a practice which in the English language is called clutching at straws. You can keep clutching at the straws. I have the judgment and I have quoted it for you.
Facts.
And I'll get Mr. K Gupta's response
by you
now.
Like that.
Mr. K Gupta, your response, please.
Yes.
No, today's verdict has clearly established that number one, Batla House encounter was genuine, and this finding Mr. Shehzad guilty proves the point that Delhi police collected enough evidence that he was connected to the scene of crime, he was present there, and during the encounter he escaped, and he was arrested after a while, after a couple of months, and then whatever evidence Delhi police collected, it proved him guilty by the court, and the verdict is a clear vindication of Delhi police earlier stand.
Okay. Now I want to ask Mr. Pracha again, why do you think he was not a terrorist? Because simple question is, 1 minute. Mr. Pracha,
I'm not thinking anything.
No, Mr. Pracha, first of all, Mr. Pracha, first of all, it's been proven it was not a fake encounter. Okay? What has been upheld is the fact that these were police officers in the line of duty fired upon by terrorists with guns, and they shot at them straight.
As of now.
And there were wounds. As of now means what? Today's court verdict, the NHRC, everything upholds that direction.
It is not a conclusive judgment. No, it is not the conclusive judgment.
Let
me tell you this.
The last straw you're clutching at is that you're going for an appeal.
In this. So of course, that is the right. You don't even know. Ask Meenakshi again.
No, 1 second.
There is a right.
Mr. Pracha, of course, everybody. I'm saying is that your only argument today?
You don't understand law. Ask Meenakshi.
That's the only argument.
No, it's not my only argument. If you want to listen to my argument, then my argument is the only eyewitnesses are police witnesses.
Okay.
There is no scientific evidence which has in this entire judgment.
Did the Delhi High Court did the Delhi High Court uphold the report of the NHRC which investigated the matter and held the encounter to be genuine in 2009? Tell me, Mr. Pracha, since you are so aware of the law, I presume you know a little bit about what goes on in the Delhi High Court. Tell me, did the Delhi High Court uphold this report in 2009?
A little bit. Maybe a little bit less than you, but I do know a little bit. That little bit is that this is the first scientific inquiry and a trial about the entire scene. And this is the first. And let us not depend and give a final judgment on this.
No, Mr. Pracha, you are not answering this. Before you pass sweeping comments, please be clear that you have your facts with you. So did the Delhi High Court say court.
Meenakshi is silent. Ask Meenakshi.
1 second, please. Why are you trying to, get Meenakshi to come to your defense? She can speak for herself.
Because she knows. Because
I am
she knows
asking you
laws.
whether the
She
Delhi
knows the
High
law.
Court, did the Delhi High Court uphold the NHRC verdict which held the encounter to be genuine? Yes or no?
What I am saying, Arnab, is that this is the first scientific trial and the inquiry which has held this to be true. I am accepting that, but this is not the final. Wait till the High Court, wait till the Supreme Court, and then we'll sit again here.
Did the Delhi High Court reject the contention that the NHRC relied on police records and hence its finding was suspect? Did it or did it not?
Arnab, this will be only
yes or
part
no.
of the statement. The full picture is, no, I can say yes or no to anything you want. Even I can ask you questions, you will not be able to answer yes or no.
I am asking
can
you questions.
Say this?
You're avoiding them, you're dodging them so openly and transparently on television. Why?
Arnab, are you above Supreme Court?
I am asking you
yes
questions.
No. Are you above Supreme Court?
No, I am asking you questions about what happened in the past. Is that the only argument you've got? I am asking you whether the NHRC report was upheld by the Delhi High Court.
This is the first. Yes, it was, but
yes, thank you for saying that.
Full trial.
Thank you for saying that.
No,
I wanted you to say that.
Understand this.
Thank you for saying that.
You will not understand because you are not a trained lawyer, Arnab. You will not understand these nuances, which are very important. Meenakshi will.
Because he's not a trained
You will not understand.
You see, Mr. Pracha, you must understand this. You just need to apply your common sense and ask yourself one thing. You need to apply your common sense and ask yourself one thing. The NHRC is an independent body. The NHRC is an independent body. You rely on the NHRC when talking about encounters in Gujarat, extrajudicial killings in Manipur, graves in Kashmir. So why you selectively decide what you want to believe?
NHRC will again say hold a trial. NHRC will only say hold an inquiry and a trial.
My God.
Hold an
you really have a closed mind, don't you?
You don't understand this.
You have a closed mind.
You don't understand this. NHRC will
Pracha,
say...
I've asked you 7 questions.
NHRC will say there is a false encounter.
Meenakshi Lekhi wants to respond. 3 minutes on the debate. I'm asking a clear question here today. Meenakshi.
Ask her.
Meenakshi, your response to him.
Very simple. See, so far as law is concerned, today one conviction has come. And of course, the conviction proves the point prima facie and every way that this person was a terrorist and the encounter was correct as of now. Now, Mr. Pracha, who happens to be a lawyer for a certain group, has every business to go to Superior Court and keep on challenging. Now, that challenge is a legal right, no one can deny that. But that legal right will change it also, one cannot say that. And so far as PUCL is concerned, I have my own suspicion about the activities of PUCL because they are only representing the human rights of either the terrorists or the Naxals. But they are not representing the human rights which get violated in this country of a common citizen due to bombing, due to terror attack, due to 26/11. And unfortunately for us, the police, the soldiers and the paramilitary forces are required to deal with terrorists on daily basis. Their job is to protect that no 26/11 happens, no 5 bombs, 10 bombs, 30 bombs get planted in our city. And repeatedly, Bodh Gaya we've seen so many others. We've seen Indian Mujahideen claiming, but certain politicians jumping up and down before even the police investigation is done that this is an act of such and such group, this is an act of such and such group. And politicizing terror is what I hate, because when a terrorist plants a bomb, it doesn't see whether it's a Hindu or a Muslim, the entire country suffers. And it is actually brandishing a particular community far more and damaging that community
which the Supreme Court has warned against.
Any common citizen in this country.
Which the Supreme Court has warned against.
Absolutely.
So,
I think we don't live in a country where anybody's patriotism can be questioned.
Ashok, Karnik and BK Gupta.
These people are the ones who are breaching such
BK Gupta, my next question is to you. You've been Delhi Police Commissioner, and many people are worried about the impact of this kind of talk on the morale of the Delhi police officers. And while it has become customary to criticize the police for everything, I just want to know from you how the Delhi police officers would feel today, a little sense of vindication perhaps that one of their own who gave up his life in the line of duty and took the bullets while fighting the terrorists out there, would they feel a bit of vindication?
So many of them.
Yeah, definitely. You know, when Delhi police officers risk their life and go this kind of situation, and where an encounter takes place and one of our brave officers, he loses his life, and thereafter there is so much of controversy that whether the encounter was genuine or fake, despite the fact that NHRC and Delhi High Court gave clean chit to Delhi police. Definitely Delhi police officers feel today completely vindicated and they are satisfied today, but they had to really struggle for almost 3 to 4 years, submitting a number of reports to various agencies, various external agencies. So now today's verdict has definitely established that Delhi police action was absolutely right and the encounter was genuine.
Well,
so definitely their morale will be quite high today. Otherwise, they were really facing a lot of problems.
Absolutely. And for his family as well, who has suffered at the hands of all the cynicism over the years, that all the name calling and all the insinuations that this sacrifice...
Ashok Chakra.
Yeah, that despite that, all these insinuations of all kinds of people that his was not a sacrifice or an act of patriotism, but a petty fight between police forces. Today, at least a lot of people feel vindicated with that. I thank you all for joining me. And I want to tell all our viewers we are taking the debate forward at 9 p.m. And at 10 p.m. after that as well, we have another Newshour special debate on who can live on 5 rupees a day, which some politicians feel is good enough. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me. Newshour special edition continues. I'm back after a very short break in a few minutes.